All right, welcome to the Sharp Mind Show, episode 85. I'm Nate, the Fit Future MD, your host. Be sure to check out InterSell.com, pick you up a cool, inspirational t shirt today. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with somebody that needs it. We really appreciate your support. All right, so big sports weekend here. We got three topics of sports to start us out, but the big topic of the day is the college football playoff bracket. Who's in and who's out, right? So, of course, the top four were kind of obvious. You got Indiana beating Ohio State. So, Indiana becomes the number one seed, the only undefeated team in the country. And obviously, they made Ohio State a two seed, which I was very surprised about, right? After losing to the one seed, they made them the two. So they were probably the unanimous one seed, and they only lost by 3 to Indiana. So they gave them the two seed. Then Georgia, and then Texas Tech at number 4. Right. Um, so so that means the Big Ten has the top two seeds. Right. Kind of weird, in my opinion. But that being said, you know, the Sun Belt has a 12-1 team, better records, right? Better records. Should they have been considered for those top 4 spots, right? Controversy number 1, you got Big Ten with the top 2 seeds, right? Then you got Georgia and Texas Tech. Texas Tech is Big 12. You know, anyway. So that being said, so who's the number 5 seed? Number 5 is Oregon. No surprise there. Oregon is Big Ten, the 3rd seed now for the Big Ten. So in the top 5, the Big Ten has 3 seeds. Okay. 3 seeds in the top 5. Kind of weird. So then after that's probably going to be Ole Miss. Let's see who's the number 6. Yeah, Ole Miss is the number 6 seed. You got Texas A&M, Alabama, Oklahoma. And then so the big surprise of the day was Miami getting in over Notre Dame. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But Miami gets in over Notre Dame. Then you have Tulane getting in from the American. Very proud of the American for getting in there. I think that's a great choice. But then you have James Madison getting in as a conference champion getting in, right? So that being said, what are your surprises here, right? So the SEC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. 5 teams in for the SEC, right? Alabama gets in with 3 losses, right? And as a 9 seed as well. Alabama gets in with 3 losses and as a 9 seed, number 1. Basically saying that they were in pre-conference championship no matter what. I think they should have had to play in and had to beat Georgia to be in. But their strength of schedule is what got them in, right? They had like a top 9 strength of schedule, but they didn't win, right? They're a 3-loss team, right? So, just my opinion there. Just my opinion there, right? But you got the ACC get Miami in. The ACC champion doesn't get in because they're 8-5. It's a hard sell to put in an 8-5 team, but they are the ACC champion in Duke. I personally would have preferred them over Alabama ACC only gets one team in, which is Miami. Um, so so if you put Alabama in, Georgia Tech is 9-3, Virginia's 10-3. Doesn't make any sense. Notre Dame 10-2. They sitting at number 11. When they were the opposite the week before, and neither one of them played. Doesn't make any sense to me. But we'll talk about that in a second. So, who do you think got snubbed out of this? Is this an exciting matchup for you guys for the college football playoff? Honestly, I'm probably not watching until we're in the second round. Don't care about any of these games. Don't care about James Madison, Oregon. Alabama, Oklahoma might be all right. I'll take that back. I will be watching Tulane, Ole Miss, because I do think Tulane is going to beat the shit out of Ole Miss, and then I think they're going to beat the shit out of Georgia too. So right after that, so I hope Tulane beats the shit out of them, because Tulane is what kept Duke out of it, kept the ACC champion out, right? And so if they go on and win, I think it proves that the ACC champion should have been there. But just my opinion. But you can't. It's hard to argue in a team with 8-5. But the number of teams from each conference kind of is weird, right? Big Ten gets 3 in, and the top 2 seeds, 3 in the top 5. SEC gets one, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams out of the 12 from the SEC. Doesn't make any sense to me. You got a 10-3 team, get them out, put Notre Dame in over Alabama, or put in even Virginia over Alabama is better, my opinion, because they played in the championship game and lost the same as Alabama did. So to me, they're equivalent. But I understand Alabama had a tough schedule, so I understand why they're there. But all right. Let me know what you guys think about the CFB playoff picture, and who do you think will be the national champion in this playoff scenario? All right. So after being snubbed, Notre Dame says no to bowl game, right? So I think this is a great decision by Notre Dame, to be honest. If the college football playoff snubs you like this, you were sitting in 10th the week before, and all of a sudden a team jumps you to 10th, and neither one of you played. I do like, I understand why they just wouldn't even accept a bowl game, because Notre Dame doesn't need the money. Straight up. Like, why would Notre Dame needs no money from a bowl game? And so they're moving on. Some people are calling it what's the word? Some people are calling it childish not to accept the bowl game. Like, if you're one getting snubbed. But honestly, if they snub you, you can snub them right back, right? So, and Notre Dame's been an institution forever, and they can choose to do what they want. But I do think it's sad for the kids in Notre Dame that played hard all year long. They're 10-2. Like I say, their schedule wasn't crazy tough. They did lose to Miami head-to-head, and I think that's what made Miami over them, because they lost to Miami head-to-head. But that was literally the first game of the season, and it was by 3 points. Okay. Let's say, and then they lose to Texas A&M. So they lose to the 10th ranked team and the 16th ranked team at the time, but Texas A&M is not 16th ranked anymore. Texas A&M is the 7th. So they lose the 7th ranked team and lose to Miami. They beat USC, which is, they got the Big Ten's got the top 3 of the 5, right? They beat Pitt, which basically keeps Pitt out of the championship for the ACC. So they have 4 ranked teams, and they go 2-2 against the ranked teams. That's probably why they ended up not in, right? They needed to beat either Texas A&M or Miami to get in. Otherwise, I mean, Navy's a good team too. I don't know why they're not ranked. They were a good team. Let me see what their record is. Um, uh, yeah, so Navy ended up at 9-2. Like, so that's a win over. They're not ranked, but they're 9-2 just because they're in the American. Um, you know, let's say they're 9-2. That's a great record. I don't know. I think the Irish should have been, but I also think Miami should have been. I think one of the SEC schools definitely shouldn't have been in. Um, hell, I even think BYU might have should have been in, but I think it's also great that they put in James Madison, North Texas. But how do you guys feel about Notre Dame deciding not to take a bowl game after being snubbed from the college football playoff? Let me know in the comments below. This episode is brought to you by London and the Googly Goo, which is my wife's children's book. Be sure to check out London and the Googly Goo, available on Amazon, written by best-selling Amazon author Meredith Dillon Johnson. So if you got nieces, nephews, or children of your own, be sure to check out Dylan and Davina. The adventure begins. All right. And bad news coming out from professional football yesterday, and said Dani Jones injures his Achilles in dramatic end to his comeback story, right? So Dani Jones was basically released by the New York Giants last year and then picked up by the Indianapolis Colts. And basically, the Indianapolis Colts were having a great year with Dani Jones. And unfortunately, that has come to an end because Dani Jones has torn his Achilles, right? And so Dani Jones is sitting on a 1-year deal, and unfortunately, that's going to probably mess up his next contract. So he was set to get a big contract. Indianapolis is sitting at 8-5 now, and even if they do make the playoffs, I don't think they're going to be any. With Riley Leonard as their quarterback, I really just don't think they're going to be going anywhere. But heart goes out to Dani Jones. Really, he's a Duke alumni, which, it's hard to root for a Duke alumni as a Carolina fan, but you hate to see this with somebody that has a nice comeback story going and then ends with an injured Achilles here. He's going to have at least a year. It's late in the season already. So that's going to be at least a year before he's able to come back. So I will see if somebody re-signs him maybe for the minimum just to keep him in. Or I don't know, franchise tags him or something. But you've seen people come back from Achilles before. You got Aaron Rodgers right now back from an Achilles, even at an older age. So it's just whether a team will be willing to wait on him. Obviously, he's proven that he can play. We wish him the best of luck to Dani Jones. But let me know what you guys think about the Indianapolis Colts without Dani Jones here. And should the Indianapolis Colts re-sign Dani Jones and let him rehab under them? I think they should. Just my opinion. All right. So, all right. Then moving on to life coaching today. The question says, what's one thing I can do today that my future self would thank me for? What's one thing today that my future self would thank me for? Right. And so this question makes you think about four things, right? Is that number one, a small decision can make a big impact later in your life, right? So whether that be saving $100 a month, choosing to eat all grilled food instead of fried food, having that conversation with that family member to basically tell them that, hey, you're part of the generational curse, and we want to limit ourselves from the generation that's actually cursed. Brave conversation there. But a small act shifts the trajectory of your entire life, right? Because that $100 a month becomes millions of dollars over 40 years, right? That healthy choice becomes you living to be 80 and seeing your great grandchildren, right? Um, And that conversation means the end of the generational curse for your family, right? So if you have any of these issues, I'm Nate and I'm a life coach. I help you make these decisions, help you make these choices, and guide you through this kind of stuff, right? So be sure to check out life coaching if you're interested. Uh, but we're definitely going to be making these choices coming into 2026, right? You're going to be putting that savings away, investing that savings instead of just saving it. That's a choice, right? You're going to be choosing to be healthy, right? We all know that as Americans, 60% of us are obese. So we want to end that and live longer, right? And so have those brave conversations with people if you need it, right? So let me know what you guys think about this particular question. What's one thing you can do? What's one thing you can do that your future self will thank you for, right? So be sure to um, check that one out, right? All right, and then the quote of the day. Quote of the day says, "Bet on yourself," right? And so this one is the most difficult one for people, right? Because especially, people that have gone through school, they've been a B, C, D student, F student their whole life. They can't see a scenario where they should bet on themselves, right? And honestly, just like we were talking about making a decision a second ago, you can make a decision that bets on yourself that can completely change your life, right? So I've done that with insurcell.com, right? Making inspirational t-shirts for people, right? And I'm betting on myself long term that I can come up with a t-shirt that inspires everyone to be better, to do better, um, stuff like that, right? So it just goes to show you that um, when you bet on yourself, you can be successful, you can be financially free. Um, let's say I'm a life coach, I help other people do the same thing. And, you know, that's what the goal is, right? The goal is to help as many people as possible. I do that by betting on myself. But it's very clear that it starts with mindset, right? So mindset starts with you fix your mindset using affirmations, right? Uh, basically, if you don't have affirmations of your own, you can pick mine up for free in the description. They're 100% free. I don't even take your name for it. That's how important I think they are. But you can add anything you want or take away the ones that you don't like. But basically, confidence, this one requires confidence, right? And you get confidence with affirmations, and you get confidence with doing something and getting the reward for it that you get, right? Doing something over and over and over, and then all of a sudden you're confident that you can do it the correct way, right? So bet on yourself today. I'm Nate, and I'm a life coach. If you're interested in life coaching, hit me up in the DM or go ahead and sign up for it, and we'll get you started. Check out insurcell.com, pick you up a cool inspirational t-shirt. That's how I bet on myself, right? So check out insurcell.com. Check out my wife's book, Dylan and Davina, The Adventure Begins. Available on Amazon by best-selling Amazon author Meredith Dillon Johnson. Appreciate your support on that. Make sure you leave it with a review, nice review if you haven't already, if you purchased it. And like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with somebody that needs it. Comment down below, let me know what you thought about it, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.